This is your prophecy update. I'm going to give you an update today on the World Government Summit 2018 and how they talked about it. One of their themes was on the way to Agenda 2030. Now, this panel that was included in this at the World Government Summit, it had leaders representing both government and international organizations, and it focused on the importance of the Sustainable Development Goals, their global transformation in reshaping the world into the image of a world government more strongly and rapidly than ever. The world is becoming more complex, they say, and more challenging, and empowerment and improving connections of governments and international organizations, they believe, would create a more creative and more dynamic world. They're trying to create a world in the image of this world government that they envision. They said that strategic partnerships needed to be deepened as such partnerships would promote the Sustainable Development Goals integration. Rising global Sustainable Development Goal powers should not be isolated, but rather engaged with and encouraged to take up greater global responsibilities. So they had a World Government Summit in 2018, and this is one of the things they focused on was the Sustainable Development Goals to be implemented to further their efforts to establish a world government in the earth, governing or managing every aspect of your life and every aspect of my life, every person on the earth. Now, partners for the event, you say, well, who was funding this? Who was helping out with this? Well, of course, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, the World Health Organization, the World Trade Organization, and the seat of world government, the United Nations. Every one of these entities is established solely to help govern the globe. Well, of course, if you've listened to this program for a while, End of the Age, you know that sustainable development is a catchphrase. It's used by activists or globalists and government agencies involved in the implementation of Agenda 2030, which was talked about at this World Government Summit. And Agenda 2030, it's used, according to the UN's own website, they state that we are determined to take the bold and transformative steps which are urgently needed to shift the world onto a sustainable and resilient path. And as we embark on this collective journey, we pledge that no one will be left behind. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals and the 169 targets that accompany them demonstrate the scale and ambition of that new universal agenda. So, the ultimate goal of Agenda 2030 is the control by the United Nations and a future world government of all human settlements, determining where one can live, what land should be used for, and all aspects of consumption and production. How much electricity you use, what kind of food do your children eat? And this is for every person on the earth. So they say, hey, Sustainable Development Goals, it sounds good, doesn't it? It's world government. And folks, the world government currently being established is the prophesied world government that will soon be ruled by the Antichrist just prior to the second coming of Jesus Christ and the Battle of Armageddon.